Hi guys, Andrew Levin again. I know I'm doing another video here about Asperger's. Now I know I haven't been uploading anything for a while, and that's primarily due to the fact that I've had stuff going on, and to be honest, I really couldn't think of anything else Asperger's related to talk about. But very recently I got the idea to talk about Asperger's in college. Now, for me personally, I am in college. I am very soon, a few weeks, like in few weeks, going to be starting my third year into college. I am on the dean's list, and I am one semester away from an AA degree. Now, I go to Marymount College. I will put a link in the description below, and the reason I decided to make this video was because I've heard a lot of stories about people with Asperger's being nervous about going into college, and their parents being worried, and their teachers, and all that stuff. And I thought that I could really bring something to this. I could really almost lay out a strategy for you. And so yeah, well, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, now I think a good part to talk about would be why I decided to go to college. And the reason for that is because I knew that unless you are incredibly skilled and very lucky, in order to succeed in life, you need to go to college. I think that's pretty much well established. In order to get really far in life, you need to go to college. And my parents have been playing that out for me for a while, so it's just, well, to be honest, never in my mind did I think I'm not going to college, because I didn't see any advantage in not going to college, other than that you save the money you'd spend. But as I said, my parents had been saving up for this for a long time, and so that's a big piece of advice. If you have the money, or even if you need to take out a loan or whatever, I would advise going to college, because you really need you really do need it to really go far in life. Now, regarding SATs and ACTs, I took the ACT because people told me it'd be more suited for me, and I think that definitely helped a bit. But I would obviously ask people, ask around and find out which would be better, the SATs or the ACTs to take. Because I can tell you right now, I've seen the SAT test, and ACT was definitely way better for me. And there's a lot of colleges that take one or the other. So, or there's colleges that take neither of them. So, yeah. So you might want to ask around. Picking the college you want may or may not take a few tries. Like, I got it right pretty early. I had gone to other colleges to check it out, but I did find the one I liked pretty quick. I feel a good college for people with Asperger's is a small student size, because as most of you know, Aspies, or Aspergians as I like to call them, do not like to be in big social settings, and to send them to something like UCLA, for example, or one of these big schools, that's a lot of people. And if they have a huge population, that might not be so good. Now, in the next section, we will be talking about that strategy that we mentioned before. So I'll see you there. Okay, now, I do have a strategy for college for people with Asperger's, and I would even suggest that it may work just as well for people who don't have Asperger's. And it's not a quote-unquote easy strategy, because college is not quote-unquote easy, but it is a very simple strategy. And it is just take it one assignment or a day at a time. because the accomplishment of getting a college degree, which could take 2, 4, 6, or even 8 years, it is a big thing. It is a big task, but the accomplishment of any single big task is done with the accomplishments of much smaller tasks just stacked up. So don't look at it like, oh God, I've got 40 more years of this, I've got so many more years of this. Think of it as, okay, I've got this assignment from this teacher, this assignment from this teacher, and this assignment from this teacher, and just do it like that and live it in the moment, to the sense that, obviously not to the degree that you procrastinate on your work, but to the degree that you're never thinking more than the rest of the semester ahead. Because I mean, until it comes time to choose your classes, obviously. So basically what I'm trying to say is, think of the future in regards to classes you're going to take, but that doesn't happen throughout the whole school year. Just worry about that when you get to that. And for the rest of the time, just keep focused on the smaller aspects of it. In addition, if you can, I would suggest getting a job if possible, because a lot of times colleges can organize that. Or if you need to do some volunteer work, there's a lot of positions open for that everywhere. And the reason I suggest that is because when you're done with college, you have a degree, but if you don't do any work, if you haven't worked, you're not going to have experience. And if you don't have experience, people aren't going to be interested in hiring you, even if you do have a degree. But with this, you have some experience. You can put it on your resume. You can say, oh, look, I've done volunteer work. I've helped these people out. I've done this. And with that, it helps your chances. If you look at the statistics, people who just graduate, like even in this market, even in like this economy, with this pretty bad economy, your chances are still much better getting out of college when you have a college degree and some experience than getting out of high school and some experience. But in addition, like the statistics are like 85% more likely if you get out of college. So it's a huge thing. That's the basic strategy. That and also I've heard that some people were nervous about the workload, and to be honest, for me, and it may just be the fact my college and high school, but to me, honestly, the workload, if you are, I can't really talk about this without talking about whether you're living on campus or not. If you are living on campus, that is the real major difference between college and high school. Because honestly, like when I was in high school, everyone was talking about college is going to be so different. It's going to be such a different thing. It's going to be big. It's going to be a huge different thing. And to me, the only real difference was that I wasn't living at home. Now that is a big difference. But as far as the classes go, it's really just the next step up. You know, it's like what you'd expect. It's the next step up of high school. So if you do good in high school, or even if you didn't do so great, if you just get some tutoring, the workload is not drastically different from your first year of college. Like from the last year of high school to the first year of college, it's not that big of a shift. Okay, now a big part of college would be living on campus, as I do. And if you're doing this, you're probably going to have roommates. Now, my advice with this is that try to get along as much as you can. Of course, I understand. I've had a few roommates that weren't that satisfactory, that weren't great. That they and I weren't great fits. But even then, the best advice I can give with that is to just sort of learn how to compromise. Live and let live, because you are going to still be living with this person for the rest of the year or semester or whatever, and it's best to learn how to sort of compromise, because then you might even be able to find something that you both enjoy. It is inevitable that you're going to get on each other's nerves. As I said, you're living together, and this just tends to happen. Even with everyone, this happens. And if you went to boarding school, though, a lot of this it's pretty much the same rules as that. Now, if you didn't go to boarding school like myself, then yeah, this is obviously going to be a very big change. But if you follow what I'm saying here, it worked for me. So, it might work for you too. Now, homesickness can also be an issue, as it happens with me. And with that, a good solution is to make frequent trips home if you can, because that'll help you ease into it. And that is something that's very good, because if you just rush in all at once, it can get very messy very quick. And it's really stuff. It's a lot of it is sort of learning as you go. If you haven't done anything like that, if you haven't done anything like this before, it's learning as you go, and people will understand, because for the most part, people it'll understand. People, there's a lot of people out there who haven't done this before, and there's stuff they don't know, and they just sort of learn it as they go. Again, as my other idea said, take it one day at a time, because that makes it seem a lot smaller. If you're living at home, at like the home you grew up in or whatever, and you're just going to college, or you're commuting there from college, I wouldn't have never done it, but it's pretty much, I would imagine it's just like the next step up from high school, literally, because you're just going to class. The only real difference is that you're not legally bound to do it. So, with that being said, I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about in this video. And if you have any ideas for a video relating to Asperger's, or want to know about my experience with something, comment below, and I will see if I can get to that, and I'll see if I can make it work. So again, Andrew Levin, signing off.